Brother, what's going on? I'm excited to have you here because today's topic is a boundary that I believe you must set when you're getting serious when you're talking to a woman. So when you're dating, you're getting from just someone you're talking to getting to that girlfriend stage. This is the perfect time to set this boundary. And I'm gonna explain exactly why, because if you don't, I think this can literally ruin everything for you. No joke. So let's get into this video. Last but not least, I have 3 spots available for my 90-day dating transformational program to where I guide you by the end of 90 days into being in a Christ-centered relationship with an amazing woman. So if that's something that you're looking for, something deeper than superficial dating, something that actually leads to a meaningful relationship, hey, sign up. Link below. Let's get into today's video. Brother, boundaries are super important when it comes to dating, right? Super important. If you do not set boundaries when it comes to dating, you will not love where you're gonna end up. And I promise you, boundaries help you out so much because boundaries are setting walls against things that you don't want to happen. It's setting expectation before things happen. It's like setting rules so you guys know how to navigate in a relationship. And it's better to actually speak it out and make sure it's set in stone than just to think and just to hope that the other person is gonna pick up on it, right? That's the difference between being a person who speaks their mind in a relationship, being someone who voices how they feel, and being someone who's nice and just hopes things go their way. 2 totally different outcomes when it comes to dating. And I can guarantee you don't want to be the nice guy that just hopes that things go their way. You want to be the person who actually speaks their mind, actually speaks what's in their heart, and actually feels like they have a place in the relationship. So if that's something that you want, be sure to watch through to the very end. This video is for you. Let's get deeper into this video. When it comes to boundaries, right? The number one boundary that I think that if you don't set when it comes to dating, about to go into the relationship stage, about to become girlfriend and boyfriend, is boundary around guys. Specifically, if she has a lot of male friends, I truly, with all my heart, believe that you need to set a boundary. You need to make sure that that is something that changes. Here's where I'm coming from, right? And let me just make sure I'm very clear, because some people in the comment sections might say, oh, that's being controlling. If you don't want her to have any female friends, any male friends, that's being controlling. You should let her do whatever she wants to do. You know what I'm saying? No, let me explain exactly what I'm talking about, because I've seen a lot of stories to where this situation happens. The girl has a lot of guy friends and they're hanging out, nothing's going on, then something happens. Understand that when it comes to guys, right, especially, and I can say this from a guy perspective, right, I had to set boundaries on myself too with me and my girl to where I'm not around all these females. You know what I'm saying? It's something to where it just makes things so much easier for you. As a man of faith, even look at the Bible, you know what I'm saying? You see, when you look at David, look at what happened with Bathsheba. Lust got him, you know what I'm saying? Solomon, the wisest man that ever lived, lust got him, and he literally ended up serving all these other gods because he ended up marrying all these women, you know, having all these concubines, all this foolishness that God told him not to do. And all I want to ask you guys is this question. If great men of God have fallen because of lust, what makes you think that lust can't get to you? You know what I'm saying? And with that being the case, knowing that great men of God have fallen because of lust, you don't think that some of our guy friends can fall too? Like, let's just make sure we're clear here. Sometimes, actually not sometimes, excuse me, most of the times, these guys that are her friends, they would have no problem with dating her if she allowed it to happen, right? And what happens is sometimes these guys that are their friends, they're there just sitting in the background, waiting for their turn, waiting for their opportunity. And that's something that I want you guys to understand. That's something that I want you guys to know, is that you want to be very careful of allowing her to have all these guy friends. And at the same time, you shouldn't have all these female friends either, because you guys are looking for exclusivity, and people of the opposite sex can confuse a lot of that. And the reason is because our biology. Guys, if you're straight, you're attracted to females. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to being attracted to females, right? Look at this. There's another female, right, that they find attractive, that they talk about things that they go through together. They talk about their problems. They talk about their issues. They talk on a emotional level. They connect, right? If the guys think she's attractive, and let's say that eventually she forms a connection with that guy, and she thinks that he's someone that she can confide in more and more, and she starts finding him attractive, it doesn't mean that she has bad intentions, but a situation can come to where things can get slippery. You know what I'm saying? They're hanging out, maybe they're going to a party together or something, a few too many drinks, and then things just end up happening. And I'm not saying this out of fear, because you never want to date out of fear. That's not from God. But I'm saying this out of wisdom, out of knowing that there's been countless stories to where guys and their girlfriends, things happen and it just slips up. Why allow that opportunity? You know what I'm saying? And I really believe that that's a boundary that has to be set, because you want to protect what you value. And if you value your relationship, you want to protect it. And that means that you don't want to allow yourself to have close proximity with women, because the Bible talks about how the adulterous woman desires the perfect soul. So keep in mind that these women that might act like they're your friends, they can try to devour your soul. Like, you don't really know what's in their heart all the time. And there have been guys that have been naive. They think, oh, she's just a girl, we're just friends. Next thing you know, you're alone, you know what I'm saying? And then you slip up and then it's a wrap. I'm telling you guys, if great men of God can slip up in an instant, why not set boundaries so you don't slip up? And just with human nature, why try to rely on your willpower that's very limited to resist all these things that could make your relationship fall? Why not set boundaries to make it a lot easier, especially if it's something that you value, for it to succeed? And that's why it's super important. That's why it's super crucial that when it comes to dating, you need to set boundaries. And I'm telling you, it's on both sides. I don't believe it's one thing to where one party has boundaries and the other party does whatever they want. I completely disagree with that. I don't think that's what you ought to do. I think both parties need to set boundaries. And if you guys are super serious about each other, be exclusive with each other. And some people might say, but what if that's, they've been friends for, before she met me, you know what I'm saying? That's not right. Okay, do you, but I'm telling you, it's something towards mutual on both sides. When it comes to us getting super serious, we're not doing that, because I do understand how guys can be and how human beings can be. And I'm telling you, these guys that are in her life, these guys that are not homosexual, these guys that are into women, and you are talking to an attractive woman, you don't think that they have any interest in her, and you don't think that they're like, if she allowed him, that they would date her? Like, just use common sense and think about this stuff. And it's not even out of fear, it's just out of wisdom. And at the end of the day, do what you want to do. But for those who have ears to hear, trust me, set boundaries, because I promise you, if you don't believe me, go ahead and look up stories where this has happened. Guy friends end up sleeping with their girlfriend, their female friends. It happens, and it's a very real thing. And knowing that phenomenon happens more than you would actually believe it, if it's a thing that happens a lot and you want to protect your relationship, set up a boundary. That's what I'm talking about. So I hope you guys got value from today's video. I hope this makes sense. I know a lot of people might disagree in the comments and say, man, do you? But for those that have ears to hear, this video is for you. But I hope you guys take it easy, stay blessed, and see you next time. Subscribe for more content. Peace out.